they had but one job to get done. One job. In ancient Judaism, there was only one reason for 10 young women to be hanging out outside a guy's house. He was a bridegroom. And these young women are not guests for the wedding. They are part of the bridal party, attendants of the bride. And in this ancient tradition, it was customary for the groom to go to the bride's home to pick her up, basically. And there would be a brief ceremony there and kind of a small party. And afterward, they would travel together to his home for the big deal, right? That's where they would enter the house and be wed there and have the big celebration, the big feast. And so the bridesmaids, the attendants of the bride, would leave her house early, rush over to the groom's house so they would be ready, because their one job was to be the welcoming party for the groom and the bride and all of their guests. Jesus, in his parable, tells us 5 of those young women fulfilled that critical role, and 5 didn't. Why not? It gets a little confusing here because we're hearing Jesus' parable through Matthew's telling of it. And Matthew says, well, 5 of them didn't bring any oil. But then later he mentions that the bridegroom had been delayed. So it's not clear whether they just brought nothing or if the delay meant that their oil ran out and they didn't have any extra. Right? It's not clear. But one way or the other, when the watchmen cry out, "He's coming!" their engine light is flashing red. No oil, right? No oil. And so what do? What do the 5 who didn't have the oil start doing? They went shopping, as all upset women do right now. First, they asked the others, "Could we have some of your oil?" And as it might be said at my house, you snooze, you lose. No, you need to go buy your own. Well, the consequence of this is actually rather harsh. This is an ancient Greek icon, which shows the parable with Jesus Christ as the bridegroom inside the house, and those without the oil are left on the outside looking in. They are excluded. I don't know you. You must be wedding crashers. Right? They get left out. Hold that thought. Jerlene Kwan, our lay leader for our English language ministry, is leading us to reach out this fall season with her powerful question that she's taking to as many neighbors as we possibly can together with you as her partners. What do you think our neighborhood needs? Powerful question. And we're getting lots of very interesting answers. And as she does that, she is calling us all to embrace the identity of being the people of a God who gathers and seeks out and then sends out, right? And if we embrace that identity together, they will come. And so we need to be ready. We need to be a people of welcome. And so, the coming of the bridegroom means the arrival of the kingdom of God. And I'm taking out the G on purpose so that you can hear the relationship, the yada, of what God intends for us together. A kingdom, right? Under God's authority and God's power. And that is essentially God's welcome for all God's children. A welcome of love. A welcome that is love. That's who we're called to be. And a welcome is a wonderful thing, isn't it? Nobody can do a welcome. No one can hold a candle to a welcome like my friend Lumiere. Lumiere is a butler. Lumiere has been enchanted. He lives in an enchanted castle of a prince. And this magic spell has turned everyone in the castle into something, and you can see that Lumiere is a candlestick. And in the castle, all of the things who were once people are desperate for guests, because only a guest can help them lift the magic spell and turn them back into the people they once were. They're desperate. And so when Belle arrives, she's a very good candidate for breaking the spell. If you don't know this, this is Beauty and the Beast, in case you missed it. She's a very good candidate, so when she arrives, they pull out all the stops. Be our guest. Be our guest. Put our service to the test. Can you imagine? I love it when in the song Lumiere says, tie your napkin round your neck, Sherry, and we will do the rest. And he says, try the gray stuff. It's delicious. Don't ask me, just ask the dishes. They can sing, they can dance. After all, miss, this is France. And a dinner here is never second best. Go on, unfold your menu, take a glance, and then you'll be our guest. We, our guest, be our guest. Isn't that something? It's this huge celebration of hospitality and welcome. So this gives you kind of an idea of the floor show that Belle enjoys as the staff presents her dinner. So as a last hurrah in our summer Broadway series, Gospel on Broadway, our chancel choir will be singing the song, Be Our Guest. And I have to say, when they were rehearsing this morning, it took me a few minutes before it dawned on me they were wearing black and white. And some of them with aprons. Thank you, Julia. Be our guest. It's the theme song of the castle. What would it look like, Centennial, if we pulled out all the stops for the guests of the bridegroom when they arrive here? What might we serve up to them? What ideas do you have? What could we serve them with? Come on. I know you've got some welcomes out there. What could we serve them? Yes, Pamela. Yes. Yes, an open personality. Yes, thank you. What else? What could we serve with? Joy. Yes, thank you. Cookies and fellowship. And an invitation and directions to the fellowship hall, right? Thank you, Cindy. Anything else? I know you'll have a lot of ideas. Friendship, thank you. Because friendship is more than a greeting, it's a relationship, right? Which is what they come seeking. Soup du jour, hot hors d'oeuvres, why we only live to serve. Sounds like Christian discipleship to me, doesn't it? We only live to serve. That's our call. That's our call. What would it look like? The worst thing we could do is be a place that issues invitation but lacks a welcome when the guests come. That would be like coming here with your oil lamps, but no oil. If you don't come to this place with a welcome of the Spirit that Pamela and Kimberly sang of, then you misunderstand who Jesus is. Be our guest. Let me take you back to that parable. When the women with the oil say no to the ones who beg them to share, are they being selfish? I will say no. No. Why? Because this parable isn't about oil. It's about readiness. It's about a readiness in your heart that cannot be shared. You cannot borrow someone else's welcome. You either have yours or you don't. You know, congregations have all kinds of welcome mats, figurative welcome mats. I've experienced many. Some are more welcoming than others. Let me share a few. Like a good neighbor, stay over there. Have you visited that church? Yeah. How about this one? Oh no, not you again. Come back with a warrant. Then we'll let you in. This one strikes closer to home. Please knock so we have time to clean up. We do that every Easter, don't we, Centennial? We want to be ready, so give us a chance to clean it up. Yeah. Ring the doorbell and let me sing you the song of my people, the dog. If you've been to my house, you know I had to sneak that one in. They will let you know. Does anybody know why the pineapple became such a symbol of hospitality here in the United States? It's because when those ships went to Puerto Rico and the Bahamas and all of the Caribbean, they returned to Europe with pineapples, something no one had ever seen, and who knows why they named it pine apple. But it was such a rare thing that it was only gifted to royalty. That's why we put it on our welcome mats. Is there a pineapple on our welcome mat, Centennial? Lumiere would have had one, right? This is a welcome mat I'm going to have to look for on Amazon because, I don't know, Paul, do you think we might have that one on our door? You know this one. And those of you who are students of the Gospels, I'm missing my brother Dave, know that after Jesus told this parable of the 10 young women, he told this one because they're related. Then the righteous will answer him, Lord, when did we see you hungry and feed you, or thirsty and give you something to drink? And I know you know the answer. Truly, I tell you, whenever you did for the one of the least of these, my brothers and sisters of mine, you did it for me. Is there oil in your lamps? Bring the oil, Centennial, every week, because Darlene is out there working very hard for us and with Christ. Bring the oil. Bring the oil. All are welcome here. And here at Centennial, all means all. This is our welcome mat. This is our welcome mat, and this is our calling. As you seek your own hearts to know what does God ask of you today, I invite you to consider your offering a welcome, a gift for those around the world who are in need, and through our United Methodist Committee on Relief can offer relief to those in the Bahamas who we know have been devastated and are struggling. And so if you would like to share a gift for the Bahamas, I invite you to use the special envelope that's been included and make your check to Centennial, but note in the memo that it's for the Bahamas, and we will send it to the United Methodist Committee on Relief. Remember how generous God is with us so that we might be generous with God's world.